This month, I have been teaching a workshop series online all about our triggers, our emotional triggers, those people and situations that really drive us crazy. And one of the things I have noticed about these triggers is that they're really never some sort of divine punishment because we're bad or something. They're really showing up in our lives to say, hey, look in the mirror, look within yourself. What is going on? What within you needs healing, resolving, expression, or changing? And I have learned so much about my own triggers. One of the biggest triggers for me was I kept having in my 20s and 30s, I would have women who would show up in my life, new people, and they would really be kind and complimentary and boost me up and give me all this affirmation, and it would help me to feel better about myself. But what I noticed was repeatedly many of those women would end up kind of turning on me, being a bit disrespectful or demanding or even adversarial. And that was really difficult. And at the time, I would get mad at them. But eventually, I realized it's not about them. This keeps repeating, this keeps happening because something in me needs to change. And what I finally realized was that I was desperate for the affirmation and validation of my own mom. And that wasn't her fault, but I somehow in my own thinking thought, I need her to validate and approve of me. And if she doesn't, I'm going to be mad at her. Well, I was. And that pattern kept showing up with other people in my life. And then finally, I healed and resolved that dynamic with my mom. It wasn't that she was bad or wrong. It was that I was trying to get her to be my source of affirmation and validation. When I needed to give that to myself, I needed to respect myself, believe in myself enough. And when I did, that pattern quit showing up in my life. I quit having these new people come into my life who would be kind at first and then turn on me. It really cleared it up. I want to share a meditation with you today that's going to help you understand your own emotional triggers and that they're happening for you and not to you, so that you can grow and leap forward, so that you can heal and resolve things and make positive changes in your own life. So I want to invite you to get comfortable for this short meditation. And for that, I invite you to sit up nice and tall. The next time you inhale, shrug the shoulders up towards your ears. And then exhale, let the shoulder blades slide down the back and a little closer together behind your heart. So you're opening the lungs, the rib cage. We're going to keep the spine nice and long as you close the eyes. We'll take 3 clearing breaths to kind of shake off tension and mind chatter. Take a deep inhale through the nose into the belly. And a big exhale. Another deep breath into the belly. Big sigh out the mouth. And one more big deep belly breath. And then let the breath return into the nose and out the nose, slowing down and even releasing conscious control of the breath. For this meditation, I call on that higher perspective, that higher wisdom of your own soul that sees your life from that highest perspective. The soul is not influenced by the emotions or the ego. Simply remembers what you came here for and really offers the opportunity to stay on track with the highest perspective in all situations. In this meditation, there's no overthinking. There's really that first gut reaction or gut feeling. The first question I have that I ask your soul to help your conscious mind understand is who or what is your current biggest emotional trigger in your life? And when that trigger is activated, what are the common thoughts and the common emotions that creep up for you? What are those emotions and thoughts that get activated by this trigger? What are the things about this person or situation that triggers you that stand out the most? What are those characteristics, qualities, things you notice the most? Have you ever noticed a similar trigger in the past? In other words, is there a pattern? Is this trigger repeating in your life through different people? What about your body? When this trigger is activated within you, what happens to your body? Does anything tense up, have pain, any nausea, other unpleasant sensations? For this next part of the meditation, I want to offer some visualizations. If you are one who doesn't tend to visualize, I invite you to imagine the feeling of what I describe. I invite you to imagine that your biggest emotional trigger is right here, front and center, right in front of you, in your face. Allow all the unpleasant feelings and all the unpleasant thoughts to rise to the surface, not as a punishment, but actually so we can work through them, face them, and perhaps release some of that energy. And now imagine that front and center, right in front of your face trigger kind of fades out like a movie special effect and reveals behind them a mirror. And this mirror shows your own reflection. This mirror, though, is not a mirror of judgment, but simply a mirror of highest perspective truth. All those tough feelings and thoughts are still present because they were never really about the external trigger to begin with. The trigger was simply serving or offering the opportunity for you to look in the mirror at yourself. Again, without judgment, simply in a search for inner understanding. What has this trigger mirror been inviting you to look at? Is there a part of you that has been suppressed or repressed? Maybe a part of you that's been neglected by others or yourself, particularly yourself. Is there a part of you that feels misunderstood, or judged, or traumatized? Whatever it is that is within you right now that needs greater understanding, it's not bad at all. It's just simply a part of you that needs non-judgment, needs love, needs kindness, and perhaps needs you to take some positive action steps. Just take a moment to feel anything you're starting to understand that the trigger has been trying to reflect to you all along. And I just have a few more questions for your soul to help you understand. What are some key elements of you that the trigger was trying to mirror? There's some emotional things that need release. Have you ever judged yourself for any of these things that the trigger is bringing up? In other words, if the trigger is someone that's angry towards you, have you been angry with yourself and judged that anger? And this is one that really needs some reflection. What are some loving, understanding, and patient ways from the wise guidance of your soul? What are some loving ways you can help this part of yourself to heal or to resolve or to be expressed? Feel those kind ways you can give that attention, nurturing to yourself. And finally, can you find some things you are grateful for related to this trigger? Is it possible that you can come to a place of gratitude for this trigger, offering you the opportunity to grow and change? When you're ready, I do invite you to open your eyes, and I highly encourage you to take a moment to write, reflect, journal about this. Perhaps even write some of the things you're grateful for, some things about yourself that you've learned and realized, the action steps that you feel guided to take. In writing it, it helps it to become more concrete in our 3D reality. And it makes it a little more likely that we'll take some true action steps to make the change. I thank you for joining me on this meditative journey. May you get so much clarity and understanding about those emotional triggers so that you can truly leap forward on your soul's journey. Until next time.